I started out raw, unrefined, one of thousands. But I knew my destiny was different.
I will be joining the Brotherhood of Duke University.
I'd been tested, my bounce measured, pressure gauged. Then, my future became clear. Surrounded by chaos, I emerged. I am the future. I am hope.
The #1 pick in the NBA draft goes to
I am number one.
And so here we go, the NBA Draft Lottery tonight on ESPN, and we take a look at the top prospects in this year's class. Number 1 is Duke. Zion Williamson. He joins Kevin Durant and Anthony Davis as the only freshman to win the Wooden Award. Ja Morant is ranked the number 2 prospect in the class. First player in Division I history to average 20 and 10 in a season. Did it at Murray State. Then R.J. Barrett from Duke, the 3rd-ranked player in this class. A great scorer, produced the 2nd most points in a season in Duke history, behind only J.J. Redick. At number 4 is Darius Garland from Vanderbilt. He played just 5 games in college due to a knee injury. He was a 3-time Mr. Basketball in Tennessee as a high schooler. So we haven't seen a lot of him at this level. And then Virginia's DeAndre Hunter rounds out the top 5, scored a career-high 27 in the national championship game as Virginia won the national championship. And so there you see some of the men who will find out something about their futures tonight. Let's bring in R.J. Barrett live from Chicago this morning as we're getting set for the lottery tonight and 37 days away from the NBA draft. R.J., congratulations on everything to you, and thank you for doing this morning. And I just wondered, not knowing where exactly it is that you will be picked, how anxious are you to see where the ping pong balls wind up tonight?
First, thank you for having me. But no, just very excited. Growing up as a kid, watched the draft lottery, watched the whole process, and to now be in it is great. And kind of figuring things out more today is just going to be exciting.
Yeah, what specifically, and I should have asked it this way in the first place, what specifically are you looking to see tonight? What matters to you as far as what winds up happening tonight?
Not much. I mean, just I don't really prefer to play anywhere. I just want to kind of see what goes on and just to be a part of the experience.
Yeah, you're speaking of being a part of the experience. We have Jalen Rose in here most days, and he was a member of the Fab Five, which is one of the most talked about and celebrated college teams of all time. You guys played and lived with a degree of attention that may have been unprecedented in the history of college sports. In what way do you think that prepared you for whatever it is you will face in the next step?
Man, I mean, this year was a lot of fun, and we came with a lot of hype, and just learning how to play when everyone's watching you. Everybody wants you to fail, or everyone wants you to succeed. Just knowing that and just being able to play through it. I mean, it's going to be fun. So I feel like I'm ready.
What advice specifically as Coach K? He has seen so many of his players obviously go on to the next level and has coached in the Olympics some of the greatest players in the history of the game. What specific advice has he given you about this transition?
Just to remain humble, to be myself, and continue to play the game I love and never lose my passion for it. That's it, really.
That seems like a reasonably good advice. You have someone else you can get good advice from, and that's your godfather, who is Steve Nash. What has he suggested to you should be prepared for as you make this next step?
Man, just tell me, the league's going to be a little different. There's going to be the best players in the world there, just to continue to work hard and, never lose myself, and just, be a good person, be humble, all those good things. And, great to have somebody like that in my corner.
Do you believe you're the best player in this draft?
Of course, I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. So, who doesn't think that they're, the best? I've put in work and time just like everybody else. So I do believe that, I'm the best player.
I have to believe you and Zion play one-on-one sometimes. How does that go? Give me a sense of what that's like. RJ and Zion one-on-one down there, at the gym at Duke. What's that game like?
It's been some good battles. I think we're pretty split, to be honest. nah, you know, he's definitely a great player. I mean, all respect to him. That's my brother. I love playing with him. I'm going to look forward to playing against him. But yeah, there's some split battles.
What has that relationship been like? The two of you led that team, again, as freshmen, as you did all year long. What is that relationship between the two of you? How would you describe it?
Man, it's great. You know, he was my roommate. Just to have somebody, you know, of that stature on the court with you, you know, off the court, all that. He's been a great brother to me. We became really close over the course of the year, and, you know, it was just fun to go into battle with him.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him tonight, with you tonight, and everybody else. Listen, best of luck to you as you go forward through this process, and we'll see you, if not before, at the NBA draft. Thanks very much, RJ.
Thank you.
RJ Barrett in Chicago for the draft lottery, and it's a situation that, look, I mean, I can't even put myself in that. I don't know how to begin to try and put myself in that position, what those guys experienced this year. That's why having Jalen here throughout the season was so interesting, because they had sort of a little taste of it. But that was in a totally different world before there was social media and everything else. How difficult do you think it is for young people as young as they are to handle that transition now moving forward to this next level where there will be so much expectation on them in the league?
Well, yeah, he's one of the guys. Him and Zion, they both got huge expectations, and I feel like this season kind of get them prepared for it, because they already got the hype. They already got everybody looking at every game, paying attention to everything they do. So I think them getting on this level will help them a lot, because they're going to be seen by everybody. Everybody's going to be looking.
Now, how much have you watched of RJ Barrett? Because I will tell you again, I think Zion has a chance to be something unlike anything we've ever seen before. But I don't know exactly what that looks like. I know what RJ Barrett looks like. RJ Barrett, as you watch him play, and not just because he's left-handed, but he looks like James Harden. He looks like his game translates in that way to the next level, to James Harden. What have you seen in him?
The same, and I watched a lot of Duke's games this year. The way he can score the ball, I love his size, his feel for the game. He does just about everything out there, and I think he'll continue to grow as a shooter. And the thing I love about what they did at Duke, you forget how young these guys are. They're 18 years old. Yep. RJ's 18, Zion is 18. But I love the way they embraced each other. There were no petty jealousies. The team came first. And if Zion doesn't get hurt, who knows? There's probably another championship for them.
I'll say this, too, about RJ Barrett if you watch them play. He is not afraid to take a big shot. You get a lot of young kids. We watched the Toronto Raptors play the other day. They had a lot of NBA players who didn't look like they wanted to take that big shot at the end of the game. Kawhi obviously did. RJ Barrett is a guy who wants to take that shot.
Oh, he does, and he's comfortable with being in the spotlight. And I think that's going to translate very well to the next level, because there's going to be more space, Coach. And you know that he's able to put the ball on the floor, get anywhere on the floor he wants. I think the one improvement I would say he has to make is becoming a consistent shooter. But other than that, I see this kid being a star. And
can I just tell you that the people who work behind the scenes on this show are picking on you. In my notes, it says, ask Damon Jones what has changed about the draft process since he was selected in 1973. Now, that's just not nice. I don't know who thought that, but that's just not nice.
That's not nice. And I was drafted 61.
In what year?
The 61th pick in 1999.
Uh-huh. Do they have that many picks now? Right? There's 30 teams and there's two.
It was only 60 picks back then. I was a free agent. I didn't get drafted. So I went 61.
So you fooled me. Even with that,
you did it the hard way.
Tonight it is a very big night for the NBA on ESPN. We're going to see it all, right? So you're going to have, first off, special edition of NBA Countdown. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern. Then Rachel and company are in Chicago for The Jump live at 8 Eastern. Then we've got the draft lottery. Where do the ping pong balls wind up sending Zion and everybody else? And then after all of that, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, Portland and Golden State, that's 9 Eastern, and all of it streams live on the ESPN app, so you can watch from anywhere. All right, coming up, when will we see KD back on the court for the Warriors, and how badly do they need him to win this series? I've got questions. Stephen A. has answers. Next.